Hello, everybody, and let me just take off this PS5 stuff on the television here, and okay, that should do it. Right, so here we are, the end of the week, and us here are having some really rainy, dull weather today. It's getting much colder after that big hot spell of weather we had. I'm just looking to see and put some lights on at the top here. And where's my other little thing? There we go. And it looks like it's going to be a dull old weekend. Hey, Mario. Hello, hello. So, I have a couple of poems that I wrote over the last evening or two. I haven't printed them off yet, so they're going to be on my phone. So, how are we set? It is, both of them are sort of a little bit topical as to what has been happening up in Manchester the last couple of, well, it just happened one day. So one is about that. The first one I've done is really sort of more general. Hello, Charlie. You are just in time for me to, come on. Do you know, sometimes I hate mobile phones. Anyway, I will read these couple, and they might, as I say, might need tweaking about a little bit, but I think the general thing is here. But this is what I always call my first draft. It's amazing how when you keep reading through things, how you know, can all of a sudden think, do it like that instead of like that. Okay, here we go. What is anger? Is it seeing red? Not able to get things out of your head? Do you want revenge? Do you need to avenge? To do hostile actions make your fists clench? Hands ready to strike, thoughts ready to spike, anger to a degree that you don't like. Can you draw back? Can you not attack? Is there an emotion you may lack? Stay and count to 10. Stand back and count again. Sit and stay your thoughts from reeling, feeling you could hit the ceiling. Fighting fire with fire won't count. Emotions, they will just mount. Stop and take a step back. Maybe stop things in its track. Words are only words, not swords or guns or fists, just vicious words. Come out from mouths that utter oaths that goad and challenge evil thoughts. Angry reaction will not solve. It will not settle or resolve anger from someone whose thoughts are all askew, also headstrong, thoughts untrue. Don't make this bad, don't make this sad. It's no solution, the hate that's had. No retaliation makes for their frustration. You can give a message clear. No anger can you find here. Just take the hate. No need to wait. No one here to duplicate what you feel. And if you cannot heal because for you it feels so real, then it's a shame. You cannot claim what's right or wrong. So anger will prolong and hostility go on. But I can turn my back and say, anger will not make annoyance go away. Maybe someone will solve one day and turn anger red into grey. That's my thoughts on anger. Right. And not to be impulsive. Try to be the one to calm a situation. Hey. And my other one, the only other one I wrote, is totally to do with what has been happening. A bad attack happening in one of our towns. Hate has once again raised its ugly head. People once again walk in the street in dread. A special religious day has been turned into disaster. Terrorism has today become the master. People in this place have lost their life, innocent and unaware of a man with a knife. Hatred in his heart that knows no bounds, his only thought to see blood on the grounds of this religious place, where a congregation gather and come together in celebration of their religious day in solemn deliberation. A car drives madly through the crowded street, hitting anyone, whoever it will meet. One knife-wielding man and one in a car, intent on a massacre to take out as far as they can any person who tries to run, tries to flee. An armed response team appear and see what they have to do and are trained, and all attackers are very soon restrained. Although peace is once again on this day, there will be others who try to cause disarray. So vigilance and perception we all employ to keep safe every father, mother, girl and boy. And as I say, that is in, well, not a response, but that is a thought into this horrific thing that happened at a place where people were worshipping a particular religious day that they remember once a year. And people didn't, a small set of people didn't like it. Do you, Charlie? Well, I'm hoping it's sort of the one, as you say, you know, as Mario says, trying to put forward that there is no need to, just because you have a hostile person in front of you or around in your area, there is no need to go and be the same, because it doesn't solve anything. And then the second one here, as I say, that was, they are now calling it a terrorist attack. And again, in the name of religion, everything seems to go back to religion lately. And again, this is something I can't understand or see. Why must one person dislike another person, all in the sake of name of religion? Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you know, it's not. It doesn't make things any better. And I do not know why these people that attack. Well, again, I don't think I'm saying anything that I haven't heard on our news this morning about the certain people are preaching hatred to their young ones, and they think they're doing right. you know, it beats me. I'm lost for words with it. How to be, do you know, at a class, I am really lost for words. I am really. I just cannot see what is it. Well, what is in the heads of some of these people? And you've got to use the word terrorists because this is what they are. They are trying to put terror into everybody, and it's don't think it's helping their cause at all. I mean, it's beyond words, and it's getting to the fact now where there's so many places around that people are, and it's no wonder people are protesting. Yeah, yeah, they do mean that. It doesn't mean but this is it exactly, Mario. You don't go down to those people's levels. You are a higher person than that. Surely, maybe a more educated person. That I don't know. Is it anything to do with education? I mean, but to be quite honest, with this section that are around now, um, what they're trying to put into the minds of, it seems to us like what they're trying to put into the minds of their young ones. We were never taught to hate when we were at school. We were taught how to read and write, do arithmetic, be polite to people, and and the least thing in your head was to go out and try and find somebody to fight or stab or shoot or anything like that. So, going back to those days when I was at school to the day that is now our modern day today, society has not come on very, very well. Things have not come on very far for the better. Mm. Okay, Hallows in the works of Dark Soul, yeah. Maybe you have to feel sorry for them. Maybe that's all they know. Maybe they haven't had a chance to go a different way with their thoughts in their upbringing. And maybe if that's all they've had, they just have been convinced that this is the way to go. But a really, really far out thought is, okay, so if they get rid of every single person in the world that they don't like, they'll still have that hatred there for something, surely. If it's bred into them from when they were very young, it won't go away just like that, just because everybody that they don't like doesn't exist anymore. Then what are they going to do? They're going to turn on each other? Whoa. Well, that's what I was saying before, Ida Cross. Everything that's going on now, why don't the powers that be get their heads together and sort it out? I cannot, again, you see, why have they got to think that killing any person, whatever age, little ones just born or older ones that have been in the world for many, many years, why is that right to deprive them of a life when they have actually done nothing wrong at all? It isn't, maybe postponed in my, for some it's too late. You see, we We always like to think, don't we, that there has got some part of these people's brains that can be brought to a reasonable thought. And yeah, I mean, well, it's a very, very sad world. And I think, in a way, where we are, where we live down this part of the country, we are quite we are quite sheltered from some of the other stuff that's going on just in the UK. We have now got, well, from when I go into the town, the way, you can hear people talking different languages, and you're hearing that more and more, each sort of week or month or so that I go out. And there's always little groups of people that are talking in their own language. And that is becoming more and more now than it did before. But everybody seems to be happy enough here. Nobody seems to have any bad thoughts about anybody else that's, coming here to live. So, as I say, we're probably shielded quite a bit, and we're probably quite lucky. Maybe we are more tolerant down this part of the country. I think we may be, because things, we've got little pockets of places in this UK where living and the way of living is so different, and ideas are so different. Though we're all of sort of one species, can I say, we're all sort of English, we have different areas, different things. But maybe there's not so much around now. No, there isn't. But though, like I say, Mario, I think we are lucky down this, in this town here. And but we don't really hear anything very bad going on down around here. We don't hear people chanting or marching around or protesting about somebody that is not like them, who is, has different things, with their life. Let's hope it doesn't come. Yeah. They will make better decisions. Yeah, I declare. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I know, just talking about that, our community services and stuff like that, I think, have gone downhill quite badly. I don't know whether it is because there's not so many people coming into that type of work anymore. And I know a lot of the upsets in things that the police were called to were things from people that were out and about and should have had perhaps a community helper or somebody to guide them a little bit better. But there's not enough of those type of people about, I don't think, now. It's calling for, and so it is such a dedicated job. I mean, yeah, my daughter, I mean, she's a carer, and it is an absolutely dedicated job. Yeah. And it is hard work too. Pretty bad emotionally. Oh, I need a time, but I've recently started again. Time. Oh, Ida Cross. I so wish you well on that. You see, this is where I am, would you say, sort of out of my depth a little bit, because I've been, again, very lucky in the way, you know, with my upbringing. I didn't really have any snack cakes before. Is that it? Now I know, Idocast. Now I know. Oh, man. Food does you the world of good, eh? Yeah. Though I must say, I did not enjoy that sandwich I made earlier on. No, that was like, I don't know. The butter was missing. I'm thinking of my husband now, but he doesn't really use butter much. So it must have been all down to me. I must have emptied the tub of butter out, and instead of putting it in the bin, put it back in the fridge. Then you see, I look in the fridge and I think, oh, that's okay. We got plenty of butter. And instead, it's an empty blinking butter tub. Now I got to tell you, you may find it a bit of a funny story. Last night, my husband went in the bathroom. He was looking for. He gets a rash sometimes on his legs, and we're not sure. He has some special stuff that he can rub on his legs, like some foamy cream stuff. And I think the canister was in the bathroom, so he went in the bathroom looking for this stuff. He wasn't in there a second or two when I heard this almighty clattering, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's happened? And I'm thinking to myself, is he fallen down and hit his head somewhere? And I've got these visions that he's lying on the floor, knocked out or something like that. So I didn't rush to the rescue, which I should have done, I suppose. I sat here and waited until I heard movement. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's all right, because I can hear noises in there. Well, he came out of the bathroom with two rather large bits of plastic in his hand. And that was the toilet seat. He'd sat on the toilet seat and it had broken. And he's looked there and he's going, I've broken the toilet seat. And I was saying, well, okay, then you'll have to go out and buy another one. The thing was, it's a good toilet seat. It's one of those where it closes on itself. You just have to sort of flick it a little bit and it'll go down on its own. And he stood there looking quite pathetic. And I said, how the hell did you do that? Well, I sat on the toilet seat. He said, the plastic must be very weak. And I'm thinking to myself, no, perhaps you're a little bit overweight. So now we've got a loo in there now at the moment. No toilet seat, no top. It's got the bottom bit, but no top bit. But he put the smack down on the seat. Oh God! So just something, another little something that needs to get repaired. Do you know, I don't think there's hardly a week goes by when something or other doesn't need doing in this place. It's like we're jinxed for, you know, DIY odd jobs needed doing. We keep having problems with the hot water. There's got to be a gremlin in here somewhere. There must be. We put a new hot water thing in because we've got an old-fashioned. We've got a great big tank in the cupboard in the bedroom there, and you got your thermostat thing that you can change the temperature for yourself, with a screwdriver. turn the little thing around. And all of a sudden, the other day, it started getting really, really hot. Started overheating. So, of course, we had to turn it all off. Anyway, we don't know what happened with it because it was a fairly new thermostat, so we didn't think it was thermostat. So anyway, husband went in there and he was fiddling around with it, and he put the temperature, because you got the markings on the little knob thing. You put the temperature down quite a bit, and it's been okay. It's just sort of been hand warm, which the shower we're okay with because that does its own hot water. But I can't do a shower. I don't know if I said the other day, I can't do a shower for the simple reason they put the shower up so high I can't reach it to turn it off and on. So I stick with a bath. In the temperature of the water then was really quite good for a bath. It was just sort of just nice and warm. Then all of a sudden yesterday it started getting over hot again. So like I swear there's a blasted sneaky little gremlin going on in here somewhere. My daughter used to say, when she was living in the place before she is now, she used to say, she said her pictures kept falling off the wall. It was either in the hall or in the front room or somewhere. And she used to say to me, I know who's doing that. She says, that's Granny. It's not me, but me mum. So it would be her gran, my mum. And I used to say to her, yeah, she was all right until you annoyed her about something, and then she'd really get a rat on. And I said, and my daughter said, yeah, I've obviously done something to upset her, and she's coming around and knocking my pictures off the wall. And she was quite convinced it was me mum. Yeah. I haven't heard her say anything like that since she's been in this place she's in now. Maybe my mother's settled down a bit, gone back to sleep. Oh, stupid things happen though, don't they? Yeah. Ghostbusters. Oh man, yeah, that's what I used to say. Yeah. That's the thing. Does anybody believe in ghosts? I've had a couple of people that have told me about experiences they've had. But I'm the sort of person, I don't believe anything unless I see it. So no, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in atmospheres. And I was saying the other day, and I think I was talking about wills, and I'm not sure if I was streaming to be do you, Charlie? Now I do believe in atmospheres and feelings in places. And only a couple of 3 days ago, so I think I was talking to Wills, and maybe if I'd crossed with Sarah Mario, but I'm not sure. It was when I was streaming, and I was saying about a place that I went to. There's a place my mum sometimes, her and my dad used to go out for just a Sunday afternoon ride in the car. And there's a place there, souls have not yet managed to move on. Yeah, a lot of people say that, don't they? There was and I think Wheels looked this up on, I think he Googled this as well. That right there for sure. Well, I was saying about this place that my mum and dad used to go up, and because it was like a bit of a scenic view, and it was a little bit of a tourist, not so much of a tourist, not a well-known place, but a place. There was a place called Alfred's Tower, and it was what you would call a folly, a structure that a lot of these people, these landed gentry who had the big house and the land all around, and possibly half a dozen or a dozen of the fields that went on forever and ever. And a lot of these people were the lords and ladies of the time. They would build what they called follies in their grounds. And I think this place, this tower, must have been something like that. It is called Alfred's Tower. It is very well known. And one day my mum said to me, I don't know how old I was, I'm probably a teenager. She said, we're going up, and she said, we're going to have a ride in the car. Said, we'll probably go up to Alfred's Tower and then just go around the countryside. So I went with them. I'd never been to this place before, and I never want to go there again. And I don't know why. It freaked me out. As soon as I started, because you get the road, and then there was a gap in the hedges. You walked through the gaps and you looked up to the right, and up across this grassway, there was this tower. And I just went into the open way by the hedges, and I looked up and I thought, I don't know what it is. Freaked me out. I've never been worried about any other place at all, but that place did. I will never forget the feeling I had when I looked at it, and I just turned my back and walked out, and I thought, I can't go there again. Hey, Vasily. It was you, wasn't it, Ida Crass? Yes, yeah. And yeah, so I'm just going to back up a bit when we're talking about ghosts and things. Reincarnation. I'm not sure on that, Mario. But what I am questioning now, as I'm getting older, why are we here? Why do we exist? And then after a certain number of years, don't exist anymore. What is the reason for that? I do question that. And and this thing keeps coming in my head all the time. There's got to be more to it. Rain Fan, sorry, I missed your fight with Fidget. No, I didn't, Rain Fan. If you're available and interested to see what goes on, I shall be back there tomorrow. But I had to close it off. And because I quite like to come on here and have a sort of like a little chat about various things. And it also started off with me reading out a lot of my poetry that I'd written some time back. It started off as Poetry Corner, but I think now it's mainly chat. Yeah. Rain Fan, terrified of dying. Do we continue in energy? You see, I had a very, very strange thought when my dad died. The first thought that came into my head, he's not dead, because my son is so much like my dad. And I swear to God, I thought, he's not dead. He's here, standing by me. He's here in my son. And it's incredible how alike they are. And as my son is getting older, he's getting more and more like him. Yeah. Do you think so, Maria? Yeah. I just think there's got to be more to it. And I also cannot get my head around the fact that, are we the only planet in the whole of the system, in the whole of this dark outer space that we've got all around us? Are we the only planet that has got life on it? If we are, why is that? Why are we the only planet? I don't believe we are. It might be hundreds and thousands of light years away, but surely there's got to be something else as well. Mm. Sorry, Vasily, going back to I haven't overlooked your question. How old am I? Well, as from a couple of days ago, was it last Wednesday? I am now 81. Mm. Yeah. Do you think? Yeah. I think there has got to be. Yeah, I don't know. It's absolutely incredible when I sit here and some of the things I think that comes in my head. And as I'm getting older, it seems to be getting worse. I'm questioning things and I'm wondering why to a lot of stuff. And I cannot get my head around the fact that we are the only living thing. Are we the only planet? No, there's got to be another somewhere. Into the energy of the planet, we resonate the same as the planet, and I believe it's all connected. That's yeah. That is very, very plausible. Yeah. What does it mean to be alive? Well, yeah. This is it, Odacras. Why are we here? That's basically, or that is my basic question. Why are we here? So, yes, okay. So we are perpetuating a line of people that we call family. Yes. But there's also something else I see as well, especially yesterday. When I was out yesterday, it was meant to be this way. Who knows? Yeah, small part of a bigger journey. Well, yeah, it could be. It could be no one. Quite easily. That's what I think. There could be something else. But when I was outside yesterday, because I always wait outside on a Thursday for my lift, either my daughter or her chappie gives me a lift up to the gym where I go. And there was a man sat in a car parked, because we've got car parking spaces along the other side of our road here. There was a man in a car, and he didn't have his face to me, but he was turned so I could see the side view of him and the back view of him. And that was my dad sat in that car until he turned and I saw his face, and I thought, oh no, you're not my dad. But from the side view and the angle I was looking at him, and I'm thinking, my gosh, there's my dad sat in that car. And I've seen so many people, pizza in the place, yeah. Yeah. Well, everything I do cross is a living being thing, isn't it? Oh, no one. I'm sorry. Did you not realize I go to the gym? Yeah, I go once a week. Well, I had to because I had a heart attack about I don't know. I think back in April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, about 6 months ago, I had a heart attack. So they call it cardio rehabilitation, and it was put through from the hospital, and they've got the gym in the hospital gym, and it's just the same as any ordinary gym. Brilliant. I love it. I didn't think I would, but yeah. Well, actually, staying on the subject of this heart attack I had. Now that could have been the end of me, but it wasn't. Maybe somebody else. I've heard people now of the heart attacks that people have had, and you think to yourself, well, that could have been me. but it wasn't. And why wasn't it? Because a heart attack is quite a fatal thing to have in a way, isn't it? But I absolutely felt completely at ease when I had it. I knew I was having a heart attack. I'm going to take, yeah, bye, Mario. Thank you for coming. And thank you for your input. It's really nice to hear everybody's points of view. This is why I'm getting to like this little bit. Yeah, you know, and sometimes I think to myself, I suppose we can't all go along the same and our lives to be the same and our bodies to be the same. And so that we all sort of go along and every single one of us lives to an exact age and then we're no more. You're staying, Charlie. But you see, it was incredible how I thought. I knew I was having a heart attack. But I was more interested in what was going to happen rather than being worried and, oh my God, I'm going to die. That never entered my head at all. And of course, when they sorted out that I needed to have just a small operation, and I went to one of the bigger hospitals near us to have it done, and I was more intrigued than anything because I could stay awake during this operation. And they had this massive big television screen along the side of the bed where I was, and I could see every single thing that they were doing. And that was an amazing thing. And I'm thinking, my goodness. And the young lady, and I mean, well, when I say she was, well, anybody anybody under the age of 50 or 60 is young to me. But this lady that did it, I mean, when I thought to myself, the intelligence that she must have had, the training that she must have gone through, and the knowledge that she's got in her head to be able to do this to somebody else to make sure that they stay and carry on with their life is incredible, and so incredible to actually lie there and see what they're doing to you. And I was totally intrigued. And then people were saying to me afterwards, oh my God, I've got to have this, or I'm so frightened. And I'm thinking, why are you frightened? I wasn't. And I try to say to people, it is fine. You don't feel a thing. They stick you up with, you know, the stuff, whatever they put in you, so you don't feel anything. You don't feel a thing, but you can stand and watch it. Yeah. Yes. Well, no one. My granddad, he lived to 99, and he only died because they had moved not long previously, and he was still quite active, my granddad, and he put up a garden shed, and it was just too much for him because he was, even though he was on the go, he was quite frail. And he went to put up this garden shed and he injured himself. He did him some sort of internal injury, and that killed it. And it was a shame. If he hadn't done that, he would have reached his 100th birthday and probably much more. But we've got quite a lot of people in my family that have lived into their 90s. Yeah. But it's just going back to this hospital thing. It absolutely amazing. Absolutely. And weird, really, because that's more or less the first time I'd ever been in hospital for an operation. Apart from going into hospital to have the two children, I'd never been in hospital for anything serious like that before. And Yeah, and the saying, going back to it, no one saying about food and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, the things that type of food I was brought up on, if when I tell my daughter now, she goes, "Oh my God, I couldn't eat that," and I think to myself, well, that was what we had, and that was what was put in front of you, and that was what you ate if you were hungry. And also, I was, in an era when nobody was very affluent. Everybody had but pennies to live on. And even though both my parents went out to work, my mum did just a part-time work in the mornings, and my dad, he worked as a builder, so he worked. I don't know when did he work. I mean, I think he used to get up about 7 o'clock in the morning, and by 7:30 he was gone. And he used to sort of come back when it was more or less tea time. He was never out of work. I can never remember him not being at work, apart from when he broke his foot. And the going then was still quite tough. And when I think we were lucky in the fact that we had a massive big garden where we lived, and my dad would plant every sort of vegetable you could think of. So, and we kept chickens as well. So that sort of, would keep anybody going in that day and age. The only thing, I use a distiller and the leftover water is so grim. Well, you see, now this is the thing with my husband talking about the water. He won't drink tap water here. He doesn't like how it tastes. So soon to be 82. Well, Charlie, I've just got to me 81st last week. Yeah, it's the 3rd, isn't it? So when was my birthday? My birthday was on the 1st. So when was it then? 1st, Friday, Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday. It's only a couple of days ago, isn't it? So yeah, 82. Actually, they say, don't you, when you're in your whatever year it is, like if I've said I've just had my 81st birthday, I'm now going into my 82nd year. Yeah. Yeah. No, Charlie, don't be sorry. That's fine. That's okay. No, I mean, we use bottled water. As you can see, I've got a bottle on the table there behind me now. I mean, I don't mind tap water, but my husband, he won't drink tap water at all. And even, when we make drinks, if he makes a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or something like that, it's bottled water goes in the kettle, or every time. Yeah. But I suppose there is a taste. See, I can't taste it, but he says he can. But it's just one of the little quirks. So, oh, yikes. Were you near Manchester? See, that's Manchester. That's where they had that very, very nasty attack yesterday. Yeah. I think it's all quietened down now, obviously. But there's I wouldn't like to be living in London nowadays either, because they've had one or two nasty things happening up there as well. Really, Charlie? Yeah, really? Oh, well, I'd just like to, perhaps, like I've said many times, maybe I'm a bit too opinionated in things, but I'm always quite happy to do anything I can for anyone. And just hate to see all this stuff that's going along in the world now. Cannot cannot imagine, cannot get it into my head or even have any thought at all to have such a dislike for other people. Honestly. Free cupcakes. I digress. I digress. I don't know. What am I going to do with you? Oh, well, I'm going to have to change my habit. Talking about food, I'm just going to have to change my habit soon because I eat a lot of fruit. And now the season for the fruit is going over. So I'm going to have to look at some other sort of fruit to eat. I went in the shop this morning and I'm looking at it all and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want that and I don't want that. So I bought some peaches, but I don't know if they're going to be any good. But I saw they come from Spain. Nearing 5 years, my great grandma died to go. That is, see, that is really, really sad. Who knows how long he might have carried on, if it hadn't have been for that. Well, this again is where I think I must, and our family must be quite a lucky family. My husband and I, we didn't get it at all. Though when we were supposed to close down, my husband used to always go out. Oh, I'm going for a walk. And I said, you're not supposed to go out. Well, I'll go in the car then. But you're not supposed to go anywhere. But he still did. And then my daughter, I think she was still working, because being a carer, you can't give up being a carer just because there's massive bad bugs going about. I'm not sure. I think she might have caught it. I think my son caught it and one of the grandsons. They never, ever either had a COVID jab. They wouldn't get one. But the pandemic right across was awful, wasn't it? But now they're arguing they've brought it all up on the news the last couple of days about, what was gone wrong here with it all, what we were told to do, we needn't have done. We should have carried on going out and carried on going along with our work. But it's by the by now and it's history. But I don't know where all what they're doing, but I mean, they're still giving us COVID jabs. Flu jabs and COVID there. I've been beginning to be inundated from my surgery with messages saying, you are due for a flu jab. And you will probably be offered a COVID jab at the same time. And they keep on. Don't let you forget it. I've always had flu jab every year. And I think last year I was okay. The year before I had, because a lot of people were saying, oh, don't have the two jabs together. But I did, and my husband did. We went to the surgery at the same time. And I can remember, I think it was probably a year or 2 years ago, I was really ill. And they said that was, but apparently if you don't get a reaction from it, then it means it doesn't work well enough. If you get a reaction, then you're well guarded against it. Yeah. They go COVID jabs. We have one every year. And like I say, they've started to remind me now on my phone, get a COVID jab, get a flu jab. Like I say, I've always had a flu jab because of being diabetic. And I had another jab now I can't remember what it was for, but that was just a one-off jab. There was some other stuff you could get. Isn't it awful? I can't remember what it was for. So we've got to go and do that sometime, me and my husband. I just get so fed up sometimes of having to go and, I mean, I've just sorted out one or two things, for the business. I've had to phone up for stuff. I've just had to go and get my eyes sorted out. Then the surgery is shouting for these jabs. And then I'm starting to get things about, because like different sorts of insurances we've got to have here. Some of that's coming around again. Car insurance is coming around again. Car tax is coming around again. It's all coming in a bunch. Is your mum diabetic? Ah, sure. Yeah, my mum was too. And one of her brothers. I would really have liked to have known. And now this goes on to another sort of sideline of the conversation that I was saying some time back along. I would really, really like to have known more historical facts about my mum's family. But I didn't really know a great deal, and I was never really told a great deal. People didn't talk about their backgrounds much, but I do wonder, because I can remember my mum's two parents, my granddad and my grandmum on that side, all seemed to have good health. Never seemed to hear that they had anything. They were always just at home. But I know that one brother was very badly died. I think he had the first lot of diabetes you can get, which is a little bit more severe than the type 2 that I've got. And my mum had it. And that's where I automatically assumed that I got it from. It was sort of passed down. But where did it come from before my uncle? No idea, and I would love to have known. It must have been passed down through the family, from family member to family member, I would imagine. Because, I always assumed that I had it inherited from my mum, since she had it and one of her brothers had it. And I just sort of hope in a way that, it hasn't been passed on to either of the children or any of the grandchildren, but everybody seems to. Is your mum kind of got both? That she. Oh, do you know that is something to deal with in a way, because I, of course, Granny love. Yeah, no one could just. Yeah, yeah. I should go and get my jabs. No one. One very soon, I expect. What worried me about my diabetes when I first found out I had it, I was so worried that I was going to go into town and buy a bar of chocolate or a Mars bar or something like that and eat it on the way home, because I was quite a chocolate person. And I was so frightened I was going to do that. And probably I had that in the back of my head all the time. It came about that I actually never did. But over the years, you sort of, you can work it out. You can sort of, what I say, trot along with it quite well. Yeah. Yeah, I take insulin. I take just one lot every night. Yeah. Ocean. I excuse me. Yes, I will be playing Ghost of Yotai. Okay. An update on any games that are about. One of my grandsons, his birthday is always the day before mine. So I gave him some money for his birthday. Well, I gave him, a card with some money on for his birthday. And he's bought himself Silent Hill. What was the other one he bought? Darned if I can remember. I know he bought 2 games. And he's been playing Silent Hill. And he said to me, it's fairly good. He's quite pleased with it. And I was looking on eBay. I expect everybody knows eBay, don't they? And I'm bidding on a Silent Hill game, but it won't be ready yet for 2 or 3 days, probably longer before I get it. That's if I win the bid. So I will be doing that. And Ghost of Yotai, yes, but I got to save some pennies up. I'm a little bit what they call brassic at the moment because I've had various bits and pieces to pay out. Okay, so Granny, Ocean, do you play Identity VT? No. Do you want like co-op with them? Well, you all, I think a fair majority of you know Carl, don't you? My grandson, one of my grandsons. I bought him Night Rain because he's usually up with, tough, challenging games. So I bought him Night Rain. So he played it with me a little bit, but I'm not sure that he is that keen on it. Yeah. Roblox, no. I don't play Roblox. I've seen it about, but no. To be quite honest, Ocean, my list of games for quite some time now have been all of the Dark Souls games. Demon Souls started it, then the 3 Dark Souls games, and Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, and Night Rain. And now at the moment, I've gone back to streaming Dark Souls 3 by sort of people asking, was I going to play it? And I sort of, like to have things from anybody that's watching the stream as to what they would like. It gives me an idea of what to have for a change, because I was playing Elden Ring a lot. So those are my main games. I've dabbled a little bit in Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro, and I downloaded Hollow Knight the other night and started playing that. And it was suggested to me to play the first Hollow Knight first before I went on to Silksong. So I played that for about an hour, and I couldn't get him to jump up the platforms where I wanted him to go to get up to the top of wherever. So I've left that at the moment. So at the moment, we're carrying on with the Dark Souls 3. And we've got a bit of a fight on our hands, haven't we, peoples? They're all on PC. I used to play a lot of games on PC until I changed my PC, and I stopped Windows. See, and then I went on to the Apple Mac. The Apple Mac computer, it's not so compatible with a lot of the games. Apart from the fact that I haven't got the time. It's like today I had about 3 hours or so streaming. I usually try and do about 3 hours or so streaming every afternoon. Then I've only just recently started this webcam thing, only because I wanted to air some of my poetry to get some comments. It's nice to find out what other people think of some things that you do. And I was never sure about a lot of this poetry that I'd written, and I think everybody liked it. I did a couple, didn't I, just now? A couple that I've sort of looked. I sort of made through yesterday and the evening time. Sometimes I get a little bit of an inspiration, and I sort of start writing it down, and it sort of starts turning into poetry. But I don't do that so much now as I used to. There seem to be other things that, yeah. Do you think that? Well, another little story after you've made that comment, no one. And again, this was said only a couple of days or so ago. Again, this is Carl. When Carl was at school, he was very, very loud in telling everybody that I was a gamer. And nobody would believe him. And I tell you, if I had allowed his whole school class to come into our house to see exactly that he was telling the truth, I would have been inundated with kids of his age. And how old was he then? I don't know, 12, 13, 14, something like that. And he used to go to school and he used to keep telling everybody what I did, what I was playing at the time and everything. And he'd come home and goes, nobody believes me. But I think they did in the end. And yeah, I think they were okay in the end with it. But oh man, to be quite honest, I never thought I'd get to this stage, to be quite honestly with it all. I just used to start off, and then it was quite well, it was when the Nintendo consoles first came out, when I started playing many years ago, and the Atari. Yeah, I'm an old parent by the. You an old parent? Oh, you. Oh, honestly, the kids tell his mates and mum and they think it's funny. Yeah. As long as the they don't decide to invite everybody back to yours. Because I know very well I would have been inundated. And then I'm obviously I wasn't as old as I am now, because let me see if I can work it out. Probably about 10, because it's 20 and 12. It was about 10 or 12 years ago. So instead of being 82, I would have been 70-ish or so. And I suppose that to a lot of youngsters is old, isn't it? Oh. I got to go now. I got to go. Is that really the time? Time goes on. Whoa. After 5. Yeah. And he was just 13. Well, all I can say to you is carry on the good work. Hey. Yeah. I've got to go now. So that's my husband. Yeah. Hey, Sel, you've just popped up and I've got to go. Yeah, we're doing fine, thank you. We've put the world to rights again. And one person can make a difference. Yeah, Keith, Idocrass. Yeah. Make sure you've got plenty of snacks to hand. Yeah. Yeah, Zell, I'm sorry, but the time has come for me to leave you all in peace. Hey, I hope you're well today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Start the weekend off again. And like I'm telling everybody, it'll soon be Christmas. And everyone goes, oh no. Oh, yes, we got the big build up to it, haven't we, coming along? Anyway, it's no good. I got to go. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see what we can do tomorrow with Frida. And that's her father, I think, that other big thing stuck in the chair, isn't it? So we'll see what we can do with them two tomorrow. Hey. Okie doke. Let me... Now, where's my doodaddy? That's right. Now I've got to press button. And you all take care. Thank you very much. Until the next time.